We appreciate very much the effort that President Obama himself has made to take this relationship forward. But what is interesting is that now one can say that there is broad bipartisan support for the India-US relationship. I see that in my interactions on the Hill. But more than that, the new phase in the relationship was really started with President Clinton in 2000. President Bush took it forward significantly when he advocated and then led to the realization of a civil nuclear cooperation agreement between India and the United States. And that has completely transformed the relationship. President Obama, you may have noticed, was in India last year on 26 January, India's Republic Day, our national day. And he was the first US president ever to have visited India on our national day, the Republic Day. Also, he's the first US president to have visited India twice in his tenure. He had been there in 2010, then in 2015, and he has expressed US support for India's permanent membership of the UN Security Council. So clearly, we do recognize the all-round support for the India-US relationship within the United States, and we share the vision of it being a defining partnership for the 21st century.
What more would you like to see come out of this relationship?
I think the relationship is already evolving in a number of areas. Let's first take the trade and economic partnership. Our trade now is about $120 billion. It has gone up 5 times in the last 15 years. While these numbers may not be significant for the US, from India's point of view, US is now our largest trading partner. So the number is significant itself and the growth that you are seeing. Going beyond that, I look at investment flows. US has a significant investment presence in India, and this is growing. Just over the past year, several US companies, General Motors, Ford, Qualcomm, others have announced new investments in India, looking at the emerging opportunities there. But what is also very interesting and something that is not noticed widely is that Indian companies now have a growing investment presence in the United States. In the last 5 years, Indian companies have invested $15 billion in the US economy, have a presence in more than 40 states, and have generated 100,000 jobs directly. So that's the trade and economic dimension where we do see new trends and new things happening. Another growing area of partnership with tremendous potential for the future is our defense cooperation. Again, if I just look at the figures for the last 5 years, we have contracted to buy about $14 billion of defense supplies from the United States, more than what we have done with any other country over this period. And this is also significant because before that, US has not really been a traditional partner for India in defense, but it reflects the new trend, the new opportunity. But what is an additional dimension of interest is that we are now moving beyond just a buyer-seller partnership to co-development and co-production in defense technology. The two governments have identified 6 Pathfinder projects where we want to work together. And among those areas where we are looking at potential cooperation is aircraft carrier technology and jet engine technology. And if we are able to take this forward, it will certainly add an additional dimension to our relationship. But a third element I should add, which is not always there in the relationship between two countries, is the presence of the Indian origin population in the United States. Because ultimately, I believe that the strength of any relationship is provided by the people-to-people dimension of the relationship. And today, according to most estimates, we have about 3.5 million people of Indian origin in the United States. I'm given to understand that there are about 110,000 Indian doctors in the United States, serving in remote parts of this country. And 1 out of 7 patients is seen by an Indian doctor. And also the presence of the Indian origin community in hotels, in the hospitality industry in the US is again very, very significant generating more than $13 billion of revenue and making huge contributions to taxes, to social security. So I would say it's really an all-round relationship.